Competitive Hearthstone is a bit of a different beast than standard play or ranked ladder Hearthstone. While anyone can participate in a competitive Hearthstone arena, to be successful it requires an in-depth understanding of matchups, tech cards, creating well-rounded lineups, as well as the endurance to play multiple games at a time. Join me while I start 2021 with no knowledge of competitive Hearthstone and see how I improve throughout the year. Becoming a Grandmaster is obviously an unrealistic expectation. I will play in both qualifiers and grassroots tournaments to monitor my improvements throughout the year, as well as aim for higher and higher end season ranks on ladder. My name is Sam, and this is Getting Competitive in Hearthstone. What's going on, everybody? We are back with another episode of Getting Competitive in Hearthstone. I wanted to give you guys a quick intro to this video, what to expect out of this series as a whole. As you can tell from the intro, which I finally made, we are going to be monitoring how we improve a competitive Hearthstone throughout 2021. Whether that be grassroots tournaments or qualifiers, which have finally been announced, thank God. But right now we're in the Coin Concede Listener Series. This is week 4. I am currently 2-2 in the series, which is awesome. And as with any video from now on, all the record of the matches we're playing will be down in the bottom left. If they are a streamer or other content creator I'm playing with that asks me to put their Twitch or YouTube in the channel, their name will be up somewhere up here. And then the deck list will also be on the left side of the screen, so check them out there. Those will also all be in the description. The games themselves, because I kind of realized that long matches are hard to talk over for 30 minutes. Instead, we're going to speed this up. Right now, it's double speed. That may change in the future, just depending on how it feels to talk over them as the videos get going. So I apologize. You guys are kind of my guinea pigs as I perfect this series. And finally, every video will now, instead of doing a lineup video in a different video, we're just going to talk about the lineups in the first part of this video, what I brought, why I brought it, and what I would change in the future. But I will also be putting timestamps in the description if you want to just, I don't really care about lineups, you can skip those. I just want to see the matches. So guys, that's about it. Leave a like and subscribe. Thank you so much for supporting the series, and I'll see you in the client for the lineups. Take it easy. So, the lists that I brought this week were Soul Demon Hunter, Whirlkick Rogue, and Enrage Warrior. My opponent brought Highlander Mage, Pure Paladin, and Zoo Warlock. So they banned Whirlkick Rogue and I banned Pure Paladin because after looking at the list they brought, I felt that that would be the one that would give me the most trouble, especially for my Soul Demon Hunter and my Enrage Warrior. So this list is pretty standard. I didn't include a ton of new cards in my lists, partially because we weren't really sure what was good, and second off, my opponent submitted their decks before Dark Moon Races was announced, and I did feel a little unfair just introducing a new deck like Weapon Rogue to them when their decks don't really have new cards. So we did put 1 or 2 new cards in each deck, but nothing too... We didn't shake our decks up too much. So the new card we put in here was just 1 Ildari Studies. Looking at this now, I'd probably include a second one, probably cut the Consume Magic, because we can get a second... because with the second Ildari Studies, we can get a Consume Magic. Obviously, it's Soul Demon Hunter, so we run Spirit Jailer, Soul Shear, Marrow Slicer, which can control the board with Shard Shatter Mystic and Soul Shard Lapidary, as well as power up Sociologist Militia, which is just a huge board swing. We obviously run the broken card, Skull of Gul'dan, as well as weapon buffs like Twin Slice, Chaos Strike, Relentless Pursuit, which can discount Bladed Lady, and with Il'gynoth, Eldrachi Warblades becomes a really good finisher, dealing over 10 damage often. We also run Kayn to get through taunts, because taunts are cheat and we want to go face. And this deck runs a bunch of card draw with Mana Eater, Panthera, as well as Chaos Strike. All in all, this deck just feels really, really consistent with control tools like Blade Dance as well. And you don't really need to add too much to shake this deck up. I don't think we need to add the new 3 cost, the Lucky Soul Hoarder, but I do think in the future you cut in a Consume Magic for a second Ildari Studies. Now, like I said, my Whirlkick Miracle Rogue was banned. However, this deck didn't include any new cards. It's just a really, really good deck. This is Gabby's list. This is not the list I hit Legend with, my legend ran 2 SI7 agents instead of Brain Freeze and 2 Spy Mistresses instead of a Preparation. But I was thinking about bringing Secret Miracle Rogue, but this list is just good. If it's not broke, don't fix it. This deck just has so many cards that really don't cost mana because of cards like Foxy Fraud, Shadow Step, and Preparation. And it just has so many combo activators with cards like Backstab, again the cards I just mentioned, to activate cards like Brain Freeze, and Prize Plunder to control the board early on, and Prize Plunder can also kill giant cards in later game. We have Wand Thief just to find a ton of value, as well as Pharaoh Cap for the same value, though it's not a combo card. We have some Burn with Eviscerate, Swindle for card draw, and Evil Miscreant to generate even more value, and SI7 Agent for tempo. Speaking of tempo, we have the best tempo card probably in Rogue and Mage, or maybe the whole game right now, Janus Barov, which we can Shadow Step, make cost 3. And we have Questing Adventure because our cards cost 0. It's pretty easy to get this thing gigantic. If we need to, at the end of the game when we play Whirlkick Master, we can Shadow Step it to make it cost 0, and Whirlkick Master just continually creates so much value out of combo cards, and most of the combo cards in the game are good, aside from about 2 or 3 really high cost unusable cards. Aside from that, this deck is just so clean and consistent. It just continually finds a way to burn the opponent out, run them out of resources, create enough tempo where it doesn't matter what they do, and it's just really good. And I feel like this is probably the superior version between the two Miracle decks. Don't really think we want to be playing Secret Rogue right now when Whirlkick just does the job better. The last deck I brought is my favorite deck, which is Enrage Warrior. I said in my video that this Sky Raider I think we cut for a Shield of Honor. It's kind of in here for some early game tempo. It also acts as an activator for Risky Skipper. Speaking of Risky Skipper, it's the reason this whole deck works. We can use it to injure Armor Smith to gain armor and heal, or we can use it to set up Battle Rage turns, or just damage minions like to set up for wide boards with Bloodboil Brute. And then we can copy those damage boards with Bloodsworn Mercenary, which can also be used as an endgame combo with Korkron Elite or Grommash Hellscream. Enrage acts as a enraging activator for the copy, as well as set Grommash to a 8 mana deal 12, which is phenomenal. Shield of Honor, again, we cut the Sky Raider for a second Shield of Honor, but this just gets made so much better by Enrage. And we added the new card Nitro Boost Poison for a few reasons. We run a lot of weapons like Ankar, Sword Eater, and Reaper's Scythe. Sorry, I had to click off there for a second. And it just makes these cards make cutting class cost 1 at most if they're paired with Nitro Boost Poison. Reaper's Scythe is a 6 attack weapon that also goes face. Nitro Boost Poison is just so easy to corrupt. It's a nutty new card. The way I like to play this deck is instead of a aggressive deck with a combo finisher, just use your buffs and combos when you can weave them in, and that usually gets the job done pretty well. So guys, I'll see you in the games. Remember, everything will be timestamped, and I will see you all later. Alright, so guys, this is the first Getting Competitive Hearthstone that I'm doing sped up, so bear with me if I get behind or confused. But just exchange some pleasantries with ShinyPants. Awesome member of the Coin Concede community, super positive guy. Love these on my friends list. So this is Soul Demon Hunter versus Highlander Mage. We're going to start off by just playing the Spirit Jailer, creating some kind of pressure against our opponent, which is all we really need to do. Next turn we can Eldari Studies, which is an amazing new card, as well as Hero Power. So we'll do the Eldari Studies first. We think about Spectral Sight for a bit. Consume Magic could be good, but ultimately, 5 mana Skull. This card was nerfed for a reason. Let's take that. Push 2 to face. During their turn, they're going to play a Secret. That could be anything. We're going to test first. So it looks like it is probably some kind of counter spell. We have Coin to counteract that, which is great. They play a Twilight Drake. We're not too worried about the Twilight Drake. We are going to test with Coin, that way our Skull can get off eventually. But this whole time I am thinking we need to move a Skull over, which is kind of hard, especially when we have Eldrachi Warblades and weapon buffs. But what I'm thinking here is we can move Skull over, we can Soul Shear, and then set up a Relentless Pursuit. I think the best play here is just to develop a 4-2 weapon, trade into the Drake, get that pressure off board, push damage. Our ultimate goal with this deck is to continually just push damage to their face and create pressure with our own weapon. So we can again play the Mana Saver. The idea here is to clear out this taunt. Now I miscounted my mana here. I thought that I could play the Relentless Pursuit and do all that. I obviously couldn't. But we have the Eldrazi Warblades to set up with Il'gynoth, which is our hand. So they're just going to kind of clear off our pressure, which they do very well. We still have a 1-2. 1-2s actually aren't that scary. We keep drawing mana crystals, which kind of isn't great, but we're going to keep drawing cards as well with Chaos Strike, push some more damage. We want to save this last swing for a Il'gynoth turn. So they play Malygos here, which we kind of could have suspected because they played Arcane Breath, which got them a spell because they had a dragon in their hand. We're frozen, so the best way to contest a Malygos is Lucio, which summons 4 3/3s with Rush and leaves them all on board because Malygos only has 2 attack, but their Malygos' Flame Strike clears the board. Doing some quick counting here, and we cannot do the Il'gynoth turn this turn, and we kind of realize that Skull probably will not get out of our hand to get the discounts, so we're just going to play it and not take the discounts, which is fine. We get Twin Slice, and 2 Twin Slices, a Relentless Pursuit, and a Il'gynoth will end this game. We're just kind of hoping they don't get or play a taunt off that Jandis, and they don't get one, and they don't play a taunt. So this Il'gynoth is actually able to close out the game here very, very easily. If it wasn't, we had ways to clear this up with Soul Shatter, but with Il'gynoth plus a total of 10 attack, that's going to end game number 1. Just putting that pressure on was so important that whole game. The second game is Zoo Warlock versus Enrage Warrior. We know this is Zoo, so we want stuff that's going to maintain presence early on, so Risky Skipper's really good at that, so is Warmaul Challenger. We can even use our Enrage if we need to clear off a 1 health minion. They're going to play Tour Guide and tap. Battle Rage is going to be very, very good also. And this 1-3 is just going to clear off so much stuff to really no harm to itself. We play this matchup pretty aggressively. We don't really try and combo them down with like Core Chrono Leader Grommash. We end up just copying our own minions throughout the game, which is just awesome. But clearing off a demon so they can't Minari Mosher it is really nice. And this turn we can Risky Skipper. We can actually we're going to Enrage the Warmaul Challenger, Risky Skipper, then copy the Warmaul Challenger to clear their board and develop 2 3/5s and a 2-1 and a 1-2. Next turn we're set up pretty well for a Battle Rage, which is the reason why we did it. And them having to discard a Giant is awesome. We could have just Battle Rage first. The 2-2 is going to die anyways. So we Battle Rage here. Trade the Skipper off. It's kind of lived its usefulness, and keeping the Blood Boil Brood healthy is really good. And the thing that we have in favor against Zoo Warlock is they're going to keep hurting their own life total, which is going to be great for us, and also discarding that second Mana Giant. Phenomenal. We get the Sword Eater up, we can face tank the 3-2 just so it doesn't create pressure, and just draw more cards. Getting through our deck to get to points where we can just keep buffing and pushing damage is so important. And the sword also, the Sword Eater from the weapon from Sword Eater also clears off the 3-2 very well. And we can even copy our Blood Boil Brood with our Bloodsworn, which we're going to do, because that way we can push 8 damage to really just close this game out. And using your cards as aggro instead of just combo pieces and saving them, I think is really good. And we just have lethal showing on board. Unless they get a bunch of taunts or clear this board, I don't really think there's much they can do. Yeah, so there's another Giant. They're going to coin, and that's going to be game.